What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Revolutionary Hour on B.O.S.S Radio, where we talk truth, we talk justice, and occasionally we talk about why Texas lawmakers seem determined to prove that common sense is an endangered species. I'm Mr. E, and today's hot topic is Senate Bill 3. That's right, Texas lawmakers are at it again, waging war on THC gummies like they're personally offended by fruit flavors. Look, man, they are fighting candy now. If that ain't some supervillain level bullshit, I don't know what is. Now, if you don't know what SB3 is, first off, congratulations, you have actual hobbies. But let me break it down for you. SB3 is a bill that will ban all consumable THC products in Texas. That means Delta 8, Delta 9, and whatever other mystical cannabinoids the hemp industry has legally finessed through a loophole, so clean it should have its own law degree. And why? Because apparently in Texas, it's legal to buy an AR-15 with no permit, but a gummy bear that chills you out, that's criminal activity. Let's talk about it. All right, now let's take a second here. Texas is the same state where you can legally walk into a Walmart, buy a gun, and carry it anywhere without a permit. But eat a mango flavored gummy and suddenly you public enemy number one. I just imagine Texas lawmakers sitting in a dark room like, okay, fellas, we got gun violence, failing infrastructure, a power grid that dies every winter, and a healthcare system that's ranked lower than a third world country. What should we tackle first? And some genius in a back screams out, Candy! And they all cheer like they just ended world hunger or some shit. This is the same state where the police will pull you over for having a tail light out, but let an oil company spill 5 million gallons of toxic waste into a river and suddenly nobody saw anything. Let's get real. This is about control, not about public safety. You can get blacked out drunk in Texas, stumble into traffic, and the government is like, boys will be boys. But if you eat a gummy and laugh too hard at a cat video, well, now you're a criminal. Make it make sense. All right, let's talk about the history for a second. You ever notice that when the government bans something, it always backfires? Prohibition. Yeah, that worked out great. We didn't get rid of alcohol, but we did get the mafia running the whole damn country. War on drugs. Yeah, that definitely didn't lead to mass incarcerations, racial profiling, entire communities being destroyed. Nope. No, that didn't happen. I don't remember that ever happening. And now they want to do it again. Except this time, instead of fighting heroin or cocaine, they're going after grape flavored relaxation. Personally, like the orange. We've seen this before. When people in power feel threatened by change, they come up with new ways to control the population. They tell you it's for your safety, but what they really mean is we need to keep control over what you do, how you do it, and when you do it. You ever notice how every time something benefits the average person, it suddenly becomes dangerous? Affordable medicine, bad. Universal health care, socialism. Student loan forgiveness, lazy people asking for handouts. But let a billionaire dodge his taxes, and suddenly we got to respect the free market. They don't care about public safety. They care about making sure people stay distracted and under control. Now, let's talk about who's really behind this nonsense. First up, State Senator Charles Perry. This fucker says he's worried about loopholes in unregulated products. My guy, the Texas power grid is an unregulated product. Maybe focus on keeping the lights on before you come for my gummies. Then we got Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who I'm convinced has never laughed a day in his life. I bet he thinks music is sinful and only listens to the sound of lobbyists counting his campaign donations. And let's be real, this is about money. The second big pharma figures out how to sell THC in a pill form for $400 a bottle, suddenly we'll be seeing marijuana Mondays at every Walgreens. But for now, they gotta demonize it until their corporate buddies get a cut. Listen, If Texas lawmakers want to take us back in time, fine. But bring back cheap rent, free healthcare, and pensions while you're at it. Otherwise, this is just another shameless money grab disguised as morality. Now, here's what you can do. Call these clowns out. Support local businesses before they get wiped out. Stay informed, stay vocal, and don't let them take your rights without a fight. And if they do ban THC, fine. We'll go underground with it. Old school, you know what I'm talking about? Secret THC bakeries, password protected dispensaries. Hell, we'll start putting infused honey in communion wafers at church. Ha! Karen, get high. Y'all want to go backwards? Then we go full prohibition era rebellion backwards. Now, speaking of things going backwards, did y'all catch that mess at the White House last Friday with Trump and Zelensky? That meeting was an absolute fiasco. We're about to break down what went wrong, what it really means, and why nobody's talking about the most important part. Stick around. Here's a word from one of our sponsors.
Ever wondered why history's most significant events often go untold? Let's uncover them together on B.O.S.S. Radio. Welcome to the Revolutionary Hour, where the boundaries of history, religion, and global politics collide. If you're curious about untold stories, bold perspectives, and transformative ideas shaping our world, you've come to the right place. Each week, we dig deep into the topics that matter, uncovering the roots of religious traditions, challenging mainstream narratives, and decoding the biggest geopolitical events of our time. From the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to the mysteries of ancient cosmological sciences, and even the hidden truths behind historical shifts, no stone is left unturned. So, whether you're here to question the past, rethink the present, or imagine a better future, we've got you covered. Join us for bold discussions that educate, inspire, and empower. Hit subscribe now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen, and let's spark a revolution of thought together. This is the Revolutionary Hour. Welcome to the conversation.
Welcome back to Revolutionary Hour here on B.O.S.S. Radio, the place where we dig into the truth, expose the lies, and break down the real game being played on the world stage. And trust me, family, today's topic is messy. You've already heard the chaos at the White House last week when Trump met with Zelensky and it went south real quick. But let's do a quick recap before we get into the real story they don't want you to focus on. So, picture this. Zelensky steps into the White House, expecting to shake hands, smile for the cameras, and lock in another round of U.S. military aid. Instead, he gets hit with the ultimate curveball. Trump tells him straight up that military aid is on pause until Ukraine shows a commitment to peace. Now, this is Trump we're talking about. So when he says peace, he really means make a deal with Russia and wrap this war up. I know, it's horrible. Zelensky wasn't having that though. Voices was raised, tensions boiled over. A reporter insulted his attire of all the damn things.
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting.
I don't
the
have
dignity of
such.
this office.
I will wear costume after this war will finish.
And next thing you know, the meeting was over. No deal, no joint press conference, just an awkward walk back to the motorcade. But hold up, what happened right after that meeting? The EU suddenly scrambles to rally around Ukraine. Britain rushes to offer Zelensky more support. And the US quietly starts talking about tracking weapons more carefully. See, what nobody's talking about is the real reason why this meeting blew up. It ain't just about peace talks. It's about where all these weapons are actually going. And today, we're going to talk about the black market arms trade that's been running through Ukraine for years. First things first, let's kill the idea that this is some brand new concern. The West has been shipping billions of dollars worth of weapons into Ukraine, and y'all really think they kept track of all that firepower? Hell no. This black market arms trade started the moment the war kicked off in 2014. I'm talking about 500,000 weapons, AKs, machine guns, and pistols, leaving military stockpiles and just disappearing. Volunteer militias hoarding weapons instead of handing them back to the government. Criminal groups buying military grade gear for pennies in war zones and flipping them across Europe. And the receipts go way back. Reports from 2015, 16, and even NATO in 2022 all say the same thing. Ukraine isn't just fighting a war, they're making money off of it. When NATO and the EU are publicly admitting that they lost track of weapons, that's when you know it's worse than they're letting on. If the FBI lost a gun, that'll be national news. But somehow we're supposed to believe that entire truckloads of weapons disappearing is no big deal? Come on now. And just so you know, I ain't saying this. Europol, the European Commission, and even the NATO officials have all warned that Ukraine's arms shipments have been leaking into Europe's criminal underworld. So let's ask the real question. Where are all these weapons actually going? We already know that these weapons from Ukraine's black market have been showing up in the Middle East because war zones always need fresh supplies. Russia itself, because not every enemy is an enemy, And right across the pond in Europe, where organized crime syndicates have already gotten their hands on Ukrainian military gear. I mean, shit, it's there. Now let's pause for a second, because here's where it really gets ugly. For years, Western governments have pretended this wasn't a problem. But the second Trump cuts off the money train, all of a sudden they want to investigate where the weapons are going. Why? Because without U.S. support, they know Ukraine is about to start selling off weapons faster than the dope boy on the fucking first of the month. And you better believe the West is panicking, because the last time this happened on a major scale, it was called Iran-Contra. And if you don't know, let me put you on game real quick about that. See, back in the wonderful 1980s, the U.S. got caught selling weapons to Iran, who was an enemy at the time, to fund a secret war in Latin America. And when that scandal blew up, people went to jail. Now, swap out Iran for Ukraine and swap out Latin America for Europe and tell me, does this sound familiar? This ain't a conspiracy. This is literally history repeating itself. Now, here's where it all comes together. Trump's decision to cut off aid isn't just about peace talks. It's about getting ahead of the scandal that's about to drop. If Ukraine keeps losing support and funding, these weapons will flood the global market even more. We're talking terrorist groups getting their hands on U.S. military equipment. European cities dealing with a crime wave fueled by military-grade firepower. And guess who they'll blame when all of this comes crashing down? Not Ukraine. Not the Pentagon, hell, not the EU. They won't even blame the U.S. government. They're going to blame you, the taxpayer. Then they're going to tell you it's your fault because you should have sent more aid and because we didn't act fast enough. So the truth is, how do we fight back? We do it by breaking the cycle. We do it by asking the hard questions and following the money, because this ain't about Ukraine. This is about every war the U.S. has ever started, funded, and fueled for profit. Family, I hope y'all been paying attention, because this ain't just about geopolitics. It's about who profits and who suffers every time. And speaking of profits, when we come back, we're going to switch some gears to something that actually could benefit us directly. Trump's tariffs on imports. Now, I know the media is screaming that these tariffs will wreck the economy, but whose economy are they talking about? Could these tariffs actually help Black and Moorish businesses and local communities build wealth instead of relying on cheap overseas labor? That's where we're getting into next, so don't go anywhere. This is Revolutionary Hour on B.O.S.S Radio, and we ain't done yet. Stay tuned. Here's a word from Southside Beauty Care.
Your skin is precious. It tells your story, your journey, but life can be rough on it. The sun, the wind, all the little things that dry it out. That's why you gotta take care of it, just like you take care of yourself. Southside Beauty Care brings you the best from nature. Sea moss, shea butter, African black soap, all clean, all nourishing, no harsh chemicals. Just pure, rich ingredients to keep your skin soft, healthy, and glowing. So when life tries to dull your shine, you glow even brighter. Stay fresh, stay confident, and always choose the best for your skin.
Welcome back to Revolutionary Hour, and I got something that's going to make your pockets tingle. Trust me. This is the show where we expose the game, break down the system, and give you the keys to win. Now, in segment 1, we broke down how Texas is banning freedom gummies because apparently peace and relaxation are a threat to society. In segment 2, we pulled back the curtain on Ukraine's black markers arms trade, proving that the USA just losing weapons, they're letting them disappear to the shadows. But now, family, let's shift gears and talk about something that could actually put money in our pocket. Trump's tariffs. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ain't tariffs supposed to be bad for the economy? That's what they tell you. But who is they? That's the same billionaires that shipped all the jobs overseas and left our communities with Walmarts and Dollar Trees. The same people that don't want us to manufacture anything for ourselves. Let me tell you something. Tariffs aren't the enemy. Tariffs are the reason we once had Black Wall Street all over the country. And today, I'm going to break down why high tariffs could be the cheat code to rebuilding Moorish and Black wealth. Let's get into it, y'all. Now, let's take it back for a second. The early 20th century, high tariffs were the law of the land. And guess what? That's when Black Wall Street started popping up everywhere. Auburn Avenue in Atlanta, the richest black business district in the country. Banks, insurance companies, shops, all owned by us for us. Paris Street, North Carolina. They called it Black Wall Street because it was the financial center of Black America. And Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We already know how powerful that was before they decided to bomb it. The Moorish Science Temple of America was started along with the Moorish Divine National Movement by Noble Drew Ali. Now, ask yourself, why did all of these thriving Moorish and Black communities exist during high tariffs period? Because when foreign competition is limited, we build our own industry. We create jobs. We circulate the dollar amongst ourselves. The government was protecting industries, and that allowed Moorish and Black businesses to grow. But what happened when tariffs was cut out? Cheap foreign goods flooded the market. Moorish and Black-owned businesses struggled to compete. Factories closed down and Black workers lost jobs. Our communities became dependent on the same corporation that once ignored us. Now, here's the real kicker. The same people telling you tariffs are bad are the same billionaires who profit off of our dependence. Fast forward to today. Trump is bringing tariffs back. China, taxed. Mexico, taxed. Even the EU is feeling it. And this is our window to make a move. How? Because tariffs will force America to make its own products again. That means more demand for Moorish and Black-owned manufacturers. More opportunity for Moorish and Black entrepreneurs to compete. More jobs in industries we were locked out of for decades. Think about it. How many times have we heard buy Black? Well, what happens when the biggest corporations can't rely on cheap overseas labor anymore? That levels the playing field for us. You got a Moorish or Black-owned clothing brand? Now foreign imports aren't undercutting your prices. You want to start a food business? Now it's cheaper to use local Moorish and Black-owned suppliers instead of relying on cheap imported goods. You want to open a factory? Tariffs give small manufacturers a fighting chance. This is bigger than just Trump. This is about playing the game smarter. Because if we don't step up, somebody else will. Now, I know what the haters are gonna say. Tariffs make food and medicine more expensive. Solution? Start growing your own food. Learn how to use natural medicine like our ancestors did. Stop relying on foreign imports for things that we can produce ourselves. Tariffs slow down the economy. Whose economy? Because billionaires never stop making money. Meanwhile, tariffs force corporations to invest in America again instead of sending jobs overseas. Tariffs cause trade wars. Good. Because right now, the way I see it, we're losing all of the trade war. The black community already gets the worst deal in this economy. So why not shake the table? And here's something else. They tell you this ain't possible, but guess what? Programs exist right now that can help us build wealth. Minority Business Development Agency, still here, grants and resources for black businesses. Small Business Association, still here, they help with capital, mentoring, and networking. State and local programs. Cities are offering training and funding for Black and Moorish entrepreneurs. So you just got to know where to look. Listen, you could cry about the economy or you could take advantage of it. Tariffs aren't perfect, but they create opportunity. And when opportunity knocks, you better answer the damn door. This is Revolutionary Hour on B.O.S.S Radio. We ain't done yet. Stay tuned, stay ready, and most importantly, stay free. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.